Believe in yourself and begin the journey. I kept my running shoes and my swimming gear always with me.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to do, then walk. You should look for a competition outside your work. If you walk in a jungle which surround and you don't know the path and you're lost, what do you do there? Stand still, observe. There are times when you do nothing, and then the state will come that you'll find the path.
What do you get when a CEO trains like an athlete? You get Sid Yadav, today's guest on Run Play Go Unfiltered. Hello everyone, I'm Shivani Singh, and this episode is about the mindset, grit and the courage to begin before you feel ready. Let's jump in and dive into the phenomena called Sid Yadav. Welcome Sid to Run Play Go Unfiltered. It's a matter of absolute delight and great honor to have you here, not just as the Ultraman, but also as a dear friend.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. It's such a pleasure.
While you were undergoing this intense training period over such a prolonged period of time, how did you balance your corporate responsibilities at that time? Because you're not a full-time professional athlete.
Yeah.
You're a corporate leader at a very senior level. So what was the mantra of finding the right balance in that?
See, I'm an early riser, so this helps. Always.
You get extra hours.
We get extra hours. No? For example, in a week, you train between starting when you are in the build phase, you start with 10 hours and consequently you go to 15 hours of training in a week. And then weekdays, I was taking every day around 1 to 1.5 hours, early morning. So I wake up at 5:30, you start training. By 7, you are done. And then you are ready for the office. And later it became a little bit because then you have 2 times to do something, then come back in the evening, either do strength or swim or whatever. So on the weekends, you have little longer. So, for example, Saturdays could be 2 to 3 hours, and then Sundays could be between 3 to 5 hours. Primarily, when you are in a phase where you go long, that means primarily it's cycling. So cycling, that means you would like to go 4 or 5 hours at least for 2 months or so.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's manageable. 10 hours to 12 hours, you can manage.
Yeah.
If you do first 5 days, work days, you do 1 hour, you have 5 hours. Saturday, you do 2 hours, and Sunday, you do 3 hours. So you have almost 10 hours.
Yeah. No, the way you make it sounds extremely doable by anyone, actually.
It is. And my work needed a lot of travel. So I used to travel a lot to Europe, to Germany, or to Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
But I kept my running shoes and my swimming gear always with me.
Yeah.
So you find opportunity. If you don't find a swimming pool, also sometimes you don't, then at least you can run. So it was quite flexible for me to decide which one. And my coach was also very, very good, where he said, if you have nothing to do, then walk. So I normally still do that, because when I travel, when I'm on the airports, I will not sit on the airport. So I will just walk. Keep walking on the airport. Yeah. So maybe sometimes it seems foolish that I'm just going around the whole airport. But I do that.
One way of dealing with that, and how I build in, on the off days when I've not been able to really work out, is I walk and talk. So all the phone calls mandatorily that I have to take through the day, which are quite a few, you create one block of it, and then you just step down and you walk.
Exactly.
And suddenly I realized that I have walked for 2 hours. While I was just finishing my work.
Exactly.
So walking is also a secret tool, which many of us use.
Yeah.
So also tell me, since you said that anybody could do it, you said this a couple of times now, what would you say to somebody who says, I don't think I can ever do Ironman. It's beyond me. So that one line mantra, what is it that you would say to somebody who's just aspiring for it right now?
believe in yourself and begin the journey.
Begin
the journey. You will see the doors will open automatically for you. You just have to start.
Yeah.
This is the key. And of course, then you have to be in the circle who's constantly motivating you, pushing you around. So you have to be in that like-minded people.
Yeah.
And so somebody else, they encourage each other a lot. And this community is very limited. It is a small community.
Yes.
Everybody, they are not competing with each other. They are helping each other to do so.
Yeah. Well, community plays a very large role, actually.
Very important role.
And it can be a huge uplifting factor in your entire journey. I believe strongly in the power of community.
Yeah. So we have a ritual that every Saturday after any of the sport, whoever is doing running or swimming, cycling, we meet for a coffee after that. And the ritual became so important. Sometimes if you're not doing a sport, you still go for that.
Then you go. Like I said, the power of community, the exchange of stories and the habits and so much that you and these are intense journeys.
Yes.
So being able to share some of those experiences is also so critical.
And this becomes
and it's the brotherhood. Also, it's the brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
It's the brotherhood which kind of lifts you up.
Exactly.
So, Sen, in this entire journey that you've gone through, what were some of your early rituals or habits, especially in the early years, which really helped you come to where you are today?
See, I was always. I felt myself always as a sports person, but what was sport for me that time? Of course, in college time, you play volleyball or something like that, and those activities you do on a regular basis. But when the corporate life started, and of course, the work takes over, and I used to regularly go in the gym, at least. So for me, a gym was considered to be, that you're fit. But then things starts to change. No? Then you realize that that's not it. You need to do something more.
Yeah.
And then as I mentioned, the running came to me. And I really liked, I felt the difference. First time I couldn't even run a kilometer. It was tough on you. And slowly it builds up.
So, I'm still kind of circling around the Ultraman experience because of the enormity of it. But compared to anything else, whether it's running, any format of it, or cycling and swimming, Ultraman is in a different league itself, right? It's 10K swim, 420 kilometer of biking, and eventually 84 kilometers of run. What made you go for it?
As I said, moonshot, we call it 10x.
So what was that moment when you said, when you saw it in front of you and you said, this is for me and I'm doing this?
So when I did my Ironman, full Ironman, the first one, and this was an Indian one. This was not a under Ironman logo, but it was a Herculean. It was in Orissa, and this was really tough. Really tough. Sea was very tough.
Orissa is very rough. Yes.
Yeah, very rough sea. The flow of water, the current was so strong, very difficult to swim.
Yeah,
but managed it.
Yeah.
Then this bike also was very hot, and it was like every station you poured a lot of water on you to be at the right temperature. So this was the experience. And after doing that experience, I really loved it. I said, this is it. No, this is
so that was the turning point.
I said, this is something doable as an Ironman.
Yeah.
And then I started to look what else I could do.
Yeah.
Then when I looked at Ultraman, I said, no, this I cannot even think of.
Yeah.
And when I felt that I cannot think of, that's the trigger point.
That's the trigger point.
Yeah.
When, like you said, moonshots, when there is something in front of you which is difficult to even imagine or visualize, you go for it.
Exactly.
Don't overthink, just start.
Just start.
Amazing.
Mm.
So tell me, tell me, Sid, during this journey, like I said, it's a journey of a lifetime. Did you feel that something within you as a person transformed with this? Are you the same Sid that you were before Ultraman and after Ultraman?
No, big time changes. Big time changes.
Like they say, the journey transforms you.
Yes, it does. It does. After finishing Ultraman, I think there were a couple of days I was in a different zone altogether.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of 3 days of event and
yes,
and your body is in a different recovery phase, and this was a complete different zone.
Yeah.
But it made you think a lot. Not think, but realize a lot. What as a potential you can. It's of course you start taking things more like healthy eating. Now it has become part of your life. This is transformed. So you do it for a year because you want to train very
Correct.
well.
And you're looking for goals and...
Yeah, exactly. But then that becomes part of your life. You can't now just
go back to
the old lifestyle.
It becomes a way of life.
Sleeping early.
Yeah,
because the next
all that has stayed.
That lot of that has stayed.
Yeah, amazing. And also, tell me, did it also change the way you see challenges in your professional life now?
Yes,
because that was a difficult to visualize goal, and being able to overcome that would have added a different layer of confidence to you. So, do you process the professional challenges also in a similar manner now?
See, it is other way around actually. I used to take a lot of difficult challenge in my professional life. Then a lot of them. So it's around that time when I was in Germany, in 2012. I was in some of the major programs I was leading there. And they were really tough, very, very tough. Not just from the doing perspective, but kind of stakeholders, the global nature of the project, and so on. And I had a coach. And not a coach, he was my boss, but very close, also very close as a friend.
You had a boss who was a coach?
We used to talk. Let's not take you as a coach, but he was like we used to talk a lot. And then he when things were really tough in that project, we used to speak about it on an evening and say, hey, tell me, because he was almost 20 years older, and then, you ask for guidance. So
mentor.
How should I navigate through this?
So he was a mentor in a
kind of
lot
mentor,
of ways.
Exactly. So I used to do that with him. And then he told me one thing, which stayed back. He said, you are very competitive. He said, but you should look for a competition outside your work. You should have a personal goal, personal something, which will fulfill your competitive part of it.
Yes.
So that in work, you are much more calmer.
You come back peaceful.
Exactly. And actually did that. I'm much more calmer in my work. That competitive spirit goes back in my all these special events.
I have to say, Sid, what a beautiful navigation. What a beautiful navigation. Because, this is a challenge a lot of people who come from the corporate background actually face, right? Because exactly what you said, the adrenaline has to find an exit pathway, right? And what could be better than sport for that?
Yes.
Such a beautiful navigation.
You can do any kind of challenge in sport. You're not measured. You're not. It's up to you. No? All these events are only competition with yourself. So
any individual sport, actually.
Exactly. Absolutely. No, it helped me to calm down much more.
Brilliant. So, since we are talking about work now, and there are a lot of parallels between sport and leadership. One of them you just now highlighted. So, what are some of the biggest points where you see your skills as an athlete run in parallel with you being a global CEO of the company that you're working with? So what are some of the things that you draw from each into that?
That's a good question. And I did a strategy mapping. I said, how do we run in a company, and how do you run in such kind of events? How you prepare for it? So what helped me is two things. One, you have to do both in parallel. What both in parallel? One is your short-term views and a long-term views. You need to both have a command on both areas. So when you are running a company, you need to have long-term vision.
Correct.
Long-term vision, at least a 2-year vision. I said, if you, of course, people say 5-year vision. I don't believe in that. I say 1 to 2 years is something very good that you can plan and you can achieve. So I said a 2-year vision you have to have, and it should be really exciting vision. What I want to do.
Yes.
Similarly, you need to check in a very short durations as well. So, like we do our training plans, you know these training plans, your daily training plans. Then you have a rest period there.
Correct.
So you need to do your short-term topics as well. You need to relook at where you are, where your performance is, and always keeping in mind your long-term goal. So this helped me in both ways. From my corporate thinking, I used to do that. So always create a vision for 2 years at least. I used the same, and then I applied the same back in my corporate role.
No, absolutely. So short term done well leads to a brilliant long term. Exactly. Is how I look at things. So you can have an overarching vision at a broader level, like you said, moonshots. I know what my moonshot is, but the way to get there is by doing my short term really well.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that short term can be defined as a 2 years pace, like you said.
Exactly.
Broken down into, quarters.
Yep.
That those quarters leading up to 2 years, but then at the end
we call them quarterly sprints.
Exactly.
So we have in our strategy, whatever strategy we meet, we have quarterly sprints, and every sprint we call it as a retrospective. So before we start the next sprint, we go to the retrospective session, where we talk about what went fine, what didn't work out, what we need to adjust, and then replan the next sprint accordingly with the experience of the.
That's just
sprint.
Like being the runner.
Exactly.
That's what I was asking. How did you bring, your being the endurance athlete into work, and back from work to the, to being the athlete that you are?
Exactly.
So beautifully put. So also, that takes me to my next thought in that, which is how has endurance sport influenced your leadership style?
I think endurance is about building a long-term or a longer period of time that you can sustain.
Yes.
And leadership is all about that. So leadership is about how you can face your current challenges for a longer period of time. That means you solve challenges. Challenges continue to come, but you overcome them on a very regular basis. So, of course, this has helped a lot. As I said, it helped me to be calmer, much calmer in dealing those challenges.
Yes.
Previously, if I look pre-2013, if there is a challenge, or a tough email or a tough conversation, you would get excited, you would get into a mode where it also impacts you a bit. But this went away. This went away. And I think what you said, there was another opening for that to happen. And this helped on the corporate side as well. There was a very interesting, there was another friend of mine in Germany. He was also working together, and we used to also chat. And one day he had a coach, and we were just talking about what happened. And so he was explaining what his coach said. And this also stayed with me. He said, because he had also a difficult role. So he said, the coach said, if you walk in a jungle, or which surround, and you don't know the path, and you're lost. So what do you do there? He said, the coach said, stand still, observe, He said, there are times when you do nothing. And then the state will come that you'll find the path.
Correct. The path will come to you.
Path will come to you.
Correct.
So this also stayed back. So when you sometimes feel that you don't know the path, you are in the jungle of all the challenges around, then stand still. Hold your topics. A path will come to you. You just need to maintain your calm. Yeah. It will happen.
Amazing. So when is the book coming, Sid? I'm getting so much wisdom out of this conversation from you, and I can really see this being a part of you now. And I've seen you over a few years, and post Ultraman probably, this is the first time we are actually sitting down and having a in-depth conversation like this, and I can see a book building up there. We would love to have you launch that on Run Play Go platform whenever you're ready. That's my standing offer to you.
Why not? There's still a lot to learn.
Still some time
to the journey continues.
Yes.
For sure. But it's an interesting proposal.
Amen to that. So, life beyond the race. You're a husband, a father, a CEO, and an athlete. So, what does balance look like in your world?
I think this word balance is hyped.
Is a misnomer?
Work-life balance is it's a state of mind for any activity you do. If you do an activity and you are in a calmer mindset, you are balanced. So there is no work-life balance. It's balance that you maintain in every role you play. So if you are able to play that, or if you are able to manage that, I think then there's nothing that you have to be stressful about. No? So there's because the balance would mean
that something is imbalanced.
Also,
exactly. There is something is imbalanced.
Exactly. That means you are thinking that something is not right.
And everything is intertwined in any case, I feel.
Exactly.
So work is life, and life, but.
So sometimes, exactly. So when you are when you're working, normally you can't say, okay, I stop now, and then if you are at a position, if you have topics, you have to deal with those topics to a level. But then when you are at home or when you are with your family, then you are completely disengaged from that element, and that's, I think, the state of mind. If you maintain it, then you can manage this.
I personally feel the word for me is intertwined. Everything that we are, I play all the various roles that we spoke about. I'm also an athlete, and so many things to so many different people, right? But all of this is intertwined into a single entity, which is us, right? So, and you rightly said that if that entity is balanced, then everything around this, whether these are various roles or any hats that we wear, they will all automatically be in balance. So I am completely aligned with you on that.
Exactly.
So how do you? But you are making it sound very easy and very simple, and I know it's not.
It is.
And I like that about you, that you make it all appear so smooth, seamless, and simple. But each one of these has their challenges. And how do you stay grounded through all of it? How does this calm come out? Everything is clean, smooth, in control. How do you stay grounded through all of it? And you achieved some serious goals in life. So
I think grounded is, of course, I do some things like special meditations, or we call what we call kriyas, pranayamas, breathing exercise. So I am into that. I tried everything there as well. So I started with multiple meditation courses. It helped me in the journey for sure.
It works.
I did something called Vipassana. I think it's a 10-day program. It's also quite intense. But really amazing results. So I think this helps. This helps a lot. So if you feel connected, if you feel connected with yourself, with nature, I think it helps you.
So the mental aspect of it
stays down. Therefore, when I was saying triathlon is about 5.
Yes.
And one of them is your mindset.
Yes.
And if you really work on that mindset, things becomes easy. Yeah.
On that note, I think we will get into some really fast questions now.
Okay.
So we've gone deeper into the knowledge at a mental, physical aspect. We've gone through your journey as an Ultraman and also as the leader. Now let's just have some fun. So, favorite race?
Of course, Ultraman. Ultraman in Australia.
One thing you always carry on a long ride?
Cycle ride, you mean? So it's funny.
Yeah.
But I keep boiled potatoes.
Of course. The fuel.
The fuel. Boiled potatoes I carry. Some people find it funny, but I like it.
Whatever works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Absolutely. Any song or mantra that gets you through your last 10K?
Actually, I shut my mind at that time.
And we spoke about the 10K, remember, on your day one?
Exactly.
So what is it that gets you through?
So I don't have a fast answer to it.
That's okay.
I'm just starting to think about it. What goes?
Minutes.
I'm still really thinking about it. What goes in the mind, because you're so into the now, into the present moment. You're really not thinking too much.
Yeah.
But what I've realized over the races is that I know this is the tough phase. But if it wouldn't have been tough, I wouldn't have been there.
Correct.
Yeah. So that helps me. It had helped me in many events, especially the first Ironman when I was swimming across the sea. I really was challenged. And then a lot of people gave up that time, that swim. I didn't. I said, if it would have been easy, I wouldn't have been here. So that something, it boosts the ego or whatever. Whatever to say, no, you have to complete it.
Yeah. Because I think you also dig your heels in because of the challenge that it was there, no?
Exactly. That's the sense of achievement. No?
Yeah.
If it have been simple, then you say what did you achieve?
Maybe this wouldn't have been the goal you would have chased in any case.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I get that. Pre-race ritual?
Pre-race, of course.
Absolutely, that one that everybody has. Everybody has that one thing that we always do. It may not even be easily explainable or understood by anybody. There's always that one thing that we do. What's yours?
Night before, I eat curd rice. I don't know why, but I want to be safe with my stomach, maybe.
Yeah.
It gives you a good healthy gut. And
it's a comfort food.
Yeah.
It gives you that sense of peace, maybe peace and calm,
exactly.
and, being in control.
Exactly.
With that. So, I'm all for comfort food and comfort things, especially before a big day. That a dream race that's still on your mind?
There are few.
There are few?
There are few. After Ultraman, I want to experience one time again Ultraman.
Wow, to perfect it, to do it better this time.
Not to perfect it, maybe to enjoy it a little more.
Yes.
Little more.
Yes.
Because that was an unknown territory, which I did first time. So now it's a little bit known, but it's still challenging. So it still excites me.
Yeah.
And then there are a few others. We have Epic 5, we have something called Arc to Arc. So these are something which I cannot, at this stage, I cannot think of that I can do that.
So these are the moonshots?
These are the moonshots. So I have still not set my mind on them.
Yeah.
Because I know then it would mean a lot of commitment. But very soon, I would think of that next.
I think you mentioned once about Epic 5. I think a couple of years back.
I was planning to do it this year.
Yeah.
But then because I moved now, also with my work to Germany, then I said I'll park it for a year or two and then come back to it.
Yeah. We always have, our bucket list, and I think it's very important to have a bucket list. It's always, at whatever stage you may be in, it's very important to have things which are aspirational for you.
Exactly.
Something
That
to
would
look
excite
forward
you,
to.
no?
Something to look forward to at all times. That bucket list has to keep building. And now today I've learned a new word from you. That's moonshots. So have your moonshots ready. You don't know at what point, what might just create the trigger and pull you towards it.
So it's like,
But,
what's your Everest?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your Everest? So
Absolutely.
not everybody is climbing Everest, but
Correct.
you have so much
Yeah,
in whichever phase, no?
Yes.
In your professional phase or in your personal life.
absolutely.
Well,
As a closing note from your side, for anyone who's standing at the start line, any start line of a race, a job, life, what would you tell them?
enjoy the journey.
And
Most important. Because
Yeah.
to reach the start line,
yeah,
you've already done
yeah.
what
Standing
has
at
to
the
be
start
done.
line.
You're running a year and this.
Yeah, yeah,
From that onwards, no?
yeah,
Enjoy that.
yeah.
So that's what I will. Because because you're creating memories there,
Absolutely.
and if you enjoy every bit of it,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I remember once when I was doing Ironman Hamburg, no? We were swimming. It was so cold water. We were never used to such cold water here,
Correct.
and I was like a little bit.
Came as a shock.
Yeah, kind of a shock, and I was always finding a way to keep myself warm.
Yeah.
Now what I did was, because it was in a bigger lake, and then from that lake the view was so beautiful. Then, and I diverted my mind to look at the view. So every time I came out, I looked at the view. I was so beautiful.
So that sustained.
That sustained that challenge to me. So I enjoyed that swim a lot.
And also, I think from this entire conversation, and while I was, going through your entire bio, honestly, the thing that really stood out to me was that one phrase: "Start before you're ready." Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for for that state of readiness when you say, "Okay, from here I will trigger." If your moonshot is in front of you, take the first step. Start before you're ready, and the journey will pull you, and you'll find a way of getting there.
Exactly.
On that note, thank you so much, Sid. It was such a pleasure as always to get into this conversation. Layers of experience and wisdom that comes out every time we speak. Apart from, of course, the experiences of various races and as an athlete that we exchange with each other. Such a wonderful conversation today.
Pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you. Until next time, and I wait for your book to come out soon and to be launched on the platform during another conversation like this.
Now I have to start thinking.
Yes. That's your trigger. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.